What is going on, guys? Welcome. My name is Chris Lepak, aka RoboPack92, and you are watching the Shared Screens Media Club, the show where we come here to talk about movies, video games, TV shows, except books, because fuck them.
Fuck
You
'em.
know?
You know, my homies hate
Who
books.
reads a book like a nerd? Ignore this in my background. Let's know those aren't real. They're Star Wars. It counts.
No, still
Barely.
I fuck that.
Fucking do. They all suck. Today, joining me, my two illustrious co-hosts, Jordan Deeb and some other Josh. How are you boys doing today?
Doing great.
Fantastic.
Glad to be back.
I gotta say, I'm real happy to see you two cuties here with me. I'm really, really excited to talk about this because we got a topical topic today.
Okay.
It's topical. It's tropical.
I'm excited.
It's not tropical. So, breaking headlines over the weekend. A sequel to a long-awaited game, Dragons Dogma 2, has released, and upon release day, people noticed an unbelievable amount of DLC launching alongside the game. People looked at the DLC and they went, "Oh wow, it's tokens for fast travel to revive pawns who are your allies in the game that you can create and share and customize with other players. It's all sorts of things, and people are like, I cannot believe that they would nickel and dime these things for you in a $70 release game."
Mm-hmm.
Upon further look, especially because this is something that happened with the original Dragon's Dogma, which launched with the exact same kind of DLC, it's all things that you can earn within the game without having to. You can play the entire game without having to touch any of this DLC at all.
Yeah.
Which kind of screams like, who is this for outside of like lazy people that don't want to just play the game? But it did lead to a lot of conversations with me and some of my IRL friends here who were like, this is ridiculous. Like it makes me not want to buy the game anymore.
Yeah.
And I had to posit the thing of, well, the first Dragon's Dogma did the exact same thing. Y'all played that and loved it.
Right.
Resident Evil has done that. Assassin's Creed has done this. There are lots and lots of games that do have this DLC that you can just not touch at all.
Yeah.
And be perfectly fine. But it did cause some controversy. It's like, why are they still attempting to charge us more for something that is single player, that is a full price already, and still attempt to get more money out of us? So the question that I'm positing to you two today is, what are your personal limits for DLC in video games? This includes live service, multiplayer, single player, all of that stuff. I want to know what seems acceptable DLC and what isn't.
Before we get into that, I do want to say I think the reason this is causing such a stir right now is because Dragon's Dogma is hot and it's the hot shit. And
it's the newest thing to do it.
Yeah, and it's a Capcom joint, right? Capcom also got flack for this with Resident Evil 4. They're like, hey, you can just get the bonus weapons and shit like that.
Upgrade cash, bigger suitcases, like all kinds of stuff.
And it's like, okay, well, where were you guys when Resident Evil 8 dropped? And where were you guys when Resident Evil 3 dropped and did the same thing, and Resident Evil 2? And I'm a sucker. Like, I got the shit for Resident Evil 2, and I was able to get the platinum because of it. And I was like, no, I don't want to deal with Mr. X. You know what's awesome?
Right.
An infinite launcher. Let me just fucking fucking dome this dude, you know? Exactly. And so it's for people like me, okay, who just want, some easy shit sometimes. I don't always want to be panicking and scared. I want to have fun when I play games. And I don't buy them every single time. I've only bought the RE2 one. RE3 I did naturally. Resident Evil 8 I didn't even attempt it. Resident Evil 4 I didn't even need it, I platinumed all those games and I'm totally fine. Plus 2, this DLC goes on sale like 2 months later. It's like what? It's like $7 right now, and it's immediately 2 months later. It's going to be $3, and you're going to see it, and you're going to say, "Oh, it's only $3. I might as well get it." And that's an acceptable limitation for me. $3. I agree.
I also want to chime in before talking about the bigger picture of like what DLC is acceptable and unacceptable. Yeah. I'm not a Dragon's Dogma 2 person or a Dragon's Dogma 1 person. But I looked into what was going on just because I knew it was a big story that day. I'd heard some people talk about it. I looked into it. And it seems like a lot of it was a misunderstanding.
Yes.
Where there was Dragon's Dogma, like any other game, right? $70, whatever. Then there was Dragon's Dogma Digital Deluxe Edition, like every other game does. And normally what do those come with? Some, not pay to win currency, but some sort of like a, oh, you know what? We'll start you with a little extra. It's usually
Yeah.
stuff you might get by the end of the second
Here's
level,
a
but you
better
start with them at
sword
level
that you
0.
start with rather
It's
than
it's like a
something
little
you
bit
get
of
a
a
few
head
hours
start.
in. Yeah.
Exactly. And it, from what I saw, is all the DLC was just all the things you can get from the digital deluxe edition, but piecemeal. So if you got, I don't know currencies, I'm gonna make it up, right? Like if you got like 500 gems, but then 600 like, I don't know, fucking spider dicks,
Yeah.
and then 12 of these fast travel resources in the digital deluxe edition, you could buy each of those things for like
Mhm.
their own price.
Mhm.
And a lot of people were thinking like they're locking fast travel behind DLC. Again, further look is like, no. In Dragon's Dogma 2, fast travel is not certain points. It's you have to put down your own fast travel points, so you have them where you want around the map.
Fast travel
There
in
is,
Dragon's Dogma is a consumable, and it's not
yeah,
something that you unlock a
and
couple
it's a
hours into the game
consumable
because it's
that
a design
from
choice.
yeah, and it's a consumable that sounds like for most average players, you will have a decent amount of these to get yourself around
It's
the
not
game.
hard. It's not hard to get them.
But again, this is just more of the second that map opens up, you now have a shit ton. So at the
Right.
beginning
Yeah.
of the game, you can throw more around, or if you're bad at resource hoarding, you get a little bit of like a head start. So it doesn't seem egregious. Again, before getting into the big picture, I will say, I 2 years ago now, for the first time, maybe 3 years ago now, either way, played for the first time Mass Effect Legendary Edition. And I say
Ooh.
that because that came with all the DLC. And
Right.
those were games from the 360 PS3 era. And boy, did I forget what DLC was like back in that day.
Yeah.
Because if you played Legendary Edition, which like I don't even remember the details because that was my first time with the franchise, and so to me, that was all just the Mass Effect experience. But Josh, I know you have a bigger history with the franchise. Maybe you could elaborate
No,
on like
no,
what it was like.
I had the exact same experience. I played it Legendary Edition after the fact, and then I played the
Oh,
DLC in 2, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm
there's points where
remembering
I'm
this."
like where I'm like, how the fuck is this a like this is
Yeah.
part of the game? Like I know a lot of us make fun of like Spider-Man putting Yuri's story in the side mission of the third DLC, right? Like
Right.
kind of under the rug. But if you play Spider-Man 2 and you don't know what happened with Yuri, a majority of the game, 99% of that game makes sense. And I'm not
Yeah.
sorry if that's a minor spoiler for anyone who hasn't played that game, right?
Sorry, Chris. Um. Yeah.
It's
Well.
cool. I was texting somebody. I
It,
didn't hear
Perfect. You didn't even hear it. But yeah,
yeah,
but
no,
like
it's
so
all good.
like what I'm saying is like, you could play that without having to know that. Whereas like the stuff they revealed in some of the Mass Effect DLC
Mhm.
is just like, oh, like this is all important.
yeah.
And then like the fuck, what's the big one at the end of the third one where they're throwing the giant party?
I can't
The
remember.
Citadel DLC?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
That's it.
like that one I guess doesn't really wrap up the story by any
Mhm.
means, but it feels like such a true ending that it's like you
Yeah.
guys really locked this. But they're like, again, I don't remember the details off the top of my head, but there were some where just like I remember going into the third game and a big story point coming up, and I'm like, am I confused or was that level
Right.
DLC in the second one? I went and looked back, I was like, oh no, there was legitimate parts of the game
Right.
just behind a paywall.
Oh, yeah, and I feel like level DLCs and stuff like that is such a sign of the times, right? Like that was like
Mhm.
peak 360 era. We just got the online web store with the 360 and the PS3, and it was a way for developers to be like, "Hey, don't finish your single player game and then go trade it in for GameStop. Like please, like we'll still give you content, right? But please just buy the game and hold on to the game, right? And we're going to charge you some extra, but like companies were like hurting from used game sales, and it was like a way to not trade that in, right? Because that developers don't see any of that money from
Right.
Of
from used
course.
game sales, and I don't like blame them for that, right? And that stuff I don't think is bad and stuff like that. I guess it depends upon how serious you're going with it. I think the Spider-Man example is a good one where it's like y'all put some real serious stuff in that DLC, you
Yeah.
know? Like,
The Spider-Man one I think is like a really good example of how we've moved on from, I guess, like the more Mass Effect era where I feel, I don't even, because as somebody who bought like the collector's edition for Spider-Man 2018, I don't really know how
yeah,
much the DLC came out to be, but assuming it was like 30 to 40 bucks, I can see how those three mini expansions that had more side missions, more enemy types, and a separate but continual story was worth that.
yeah,
But it also doesn't feel like I'm paying for a complete story. You know,
Yeah,
whereas like some of the ones with Mass Effect really felt like to get the full picture, you needed to know where it's like
100%.
it almost felt like
Sure,
Mass Effect was hiding in the true ending behind the DLC, whereas like the Spider-Man DLC was like, oh, you don't need to watch the Disney Plus series to understand the Marvels, but like you will, like
Right,
if you go into the Marvels without
right.
having watched it, it'll be a little bit more meaningful. You know?
100%. And I feel like we're starting to get away from that in the sense that instead of doing the mini story levels or stuff like that, we're just doing the mini games. And the games have become so big and monumental that it's like, okay, well, we need like the mini sequel between games now. We need the Miles Morales, we need the Lost Legacy, we need this stuff to hold people over. So we're and I hate when people call that shit DLC. That shit is a full ass game. Uh, that irritates me. Plus, two, we're also dealing away with it in the fact that shit's just free now. God of War is like, hey,
God, yeah.
here's free
Shout out to
DLC a
Valhalla.
year. Yeah, shout out Valhalla, big time. It's just like here's free DLC after the fact, and I feel like Spider-Man 2 is going to do that as well. We're probably going to get free DLC later this year, and then a mini sequel with a rumored Venom game next year, which I'm totally fine with. That's totally cool. Absolutely feeding that shit.
Yeah. I feel like we've definitely reached like a point where it's like, okay, if we expand the DLC out enough, we can just make it its
Yeah.
own game. Or like, I even feel like we've now had like, we have levels where it's you have DLC, but then you have expansions. And like
Yeah.
some companies or games will use the word expansion in different ways. But like,
Mhm.
when I hear there's an expansion to like something that's like an open world game, that's like, oh, you guys have significant content and like Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree
Yeah.
sounds like that is going to be much more of an expansion
Mhm.
that's going to add something new, whereas like DLC might have been,
Or like the
oh, here
upcoming like
is
Final Fantasy 16 thing that's happening too, right?
yeah,
It's
where it's
more
like huge,
story. It's more to
whereas like
do.
DLC that's there like from the day the game drops, I think has become more cosmetics or side things, but like
100%.
yeah, I think we've learned the best way the best practices for DLC a lot in the last
Yeah.
decade or so.
Y'all remember
So
pre-order DLC? That shit was
yeah,
crazy,
dude.
dude. Dude,
Especially when
Yeah,
it's
man.
different from every store.
yes, dude, Arkham City having different fucking skins depending upon where you pre-ordered it at is
And
insane.
I think what we've learned is if you're gonna do that, eventually it just has to come back. Where like
Yeah.
Spider-Man has like the Spider-Man games outside of the big DLCs we've talked about, they've always dropped suits for free, you know?
Yeah.
Again, other than the
Mhm.
ones that are attached to the DLC.
Mhm.
Suits extra suits are always dropped for free. In the newest update for Spider-Man 2, there are two suits that are locked behind a paywall, but that's because they are done for a charity,
Charity.
and
God
specifically a
bless them.
charity where teens from less fortunate economics neighborhoods like can learn to get a background in games, and so those teens made these skins,
Like
and
they
they did
designed them,
say
right? Was it was
they designed them, and
yeah.
they said from the beginning like at some point these skins will be free, like
Yeah.
after the
Yeah.
charity promotion is over, but like yeah, so like it's not what it used to be.
Yeah.
Sure. So a game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla or Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out where full 70 price point, and then there's all of these what are essentially like time skipper DLC in it, right? It's like yeah,
Right.
you can get fast travel tokens or whatever in game.
Yeah.
You can earn it by putting time in, or you can drop like $3 on one. Yeah, you know what I
Right.
mean. And when there's a shit ton of them, well, would you
Mhm.
say that you guys as consumers, like do you see this full price point asking thing and then also this nickel and diming on top of that as kind of like, is that a deal breaker for you? You just go, I don't have to touch that anyway, that's fine.
It depends upon the game. I feel like a lot of Ubisoft games lately they have like multiple currencies and they have like
Sure.
here's the base one that unlocks just basic shit in the game, and then here's the one that unlocks super cool Splinter Cell cosmetics from way back in the day. And it's like, well, motherfucker, why
Like
can't I
obviously I want that one, but I can't earn
Yeah,
it in game, I have to pay
I
money
Yeah.
for it.
I can't earn it in game, and the only way I can earn it in game, I'm getting like two a
Right.
mission,
Like
and the thing
hundreds of
costs
hours worth.
$5,000 for the skin.
Which
Five,
like
what so that's where I start to have a problem with it, and it's just like just do one universal currency. I'm fine
Sure.
with one universal currency, and if it's always one universal currency, it's like that's fine with me.
I mean, shout out to Helldivers too for being like, okay, we have our base currency and we have the premium currency, but you can find not insignificant amounts of the premium currency in
You
a
gotta put some
regular
time in, but it
level.
can be done.
Yeah.
But like I'm so close to getting the first war bond without actually spending money for the first war bond.
I'm doing the same
Right.
thing.
Like,
Actually.
and it's feasible enough. And like
Now,
Chris,
some might also counterpoint that though with that's a $40 game versus a $70 one, especially
Well,
being a multiplayer versus single player.
so that's the other thing I was going to say is the way you worded it of their time skipper things, and everybody has a problem with it now is like people only have a problem with it because it's in a more traditional of what we think of when we think of a video game.
Right.
Look
Because
at
I know
any
you
mobile
guys
game.
don't because I know you guys don't play like Dragon's Dogma specifically does have a multiplayer component in that you have your
Right.
AI. You get 4 AI companions. They're pawns. You can design them, like set up their class and job system, and then you can share them with other people.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. But outside of that, it is a fully like traditional single
Yeah.
player RPG.
But to me, it doesn't sound any different than, and I think it's just we have more of a palette for it when it's in mobile games or live action games. But
100%.
how is paying to get more fast travels in Dragon's Dogma 2 any different than paying to get more coins in Pokemon Go rather than actually putting my Pokemon in gyms and collecting the coins that way? Like
Right.
we've had that stuff more or less always. It's just that again, there's a different tone when it comes to the live service or a mobile game. But
Yeah.
Dragon's Dogma is a single player game. Like I have more issue with pay to win than I do pay to save time.
Sure.
Right.
Especially because I think like for me personally anyway, like if Capcom decides, hey, there are people who won't want to put in hours to earn these things in game. Like, let's profit off them. And if Capcom wants to profit off of people who are too lazy to play the game, why should that bother me?
Well,
Yeah.
see, when you word it like that, I get it, but then part of me goes, but also, like, being an adult is hard, and sometimes you just want to
Sure.
play a game and not grind all that much, and then it feels
Right.
like, wow, they're really going after, like, the
Sure,
people
not
who are
all of us
truly
have a lot of
suffering.
money, and it's already a
Like-
$70 game, though. It's like the
But-
idea of being like, man, I don't have a lot of time. I'm going to spend $10 more on this game I've already paid full price for.
Yeah.
It sucks a little bit.
But it gets to a point where at the end of the day, there's just some level of, like, you spend your money what you spent it on.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean? And, like, yeah, these companies are maybe putting out grimy options, but I don't know, just from everything I've seen, there is not the necessary incentive to give into it.
Right.
The way I feel it would be if like full-blown story content to understand Dragon's Dogma 2 was hidden behind money, because that's like you're getting a complete product. It's just basically it's like, okay, you've gotten the base set with the one action figure. You want all the other fucking accessories, you can go out to Toys
100%.
R Us and buy them. But like if you're broke, you get the main one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think price of the game and what you're actually getting is like those are the big two factors. Because let me tell you, I love Fortnite, and let me tell you, I love this thing called Fortnite Festival. But
Dude.
500 V-Bucks for a jam track is that's so
It's
basic.
It's killing me, man. It's $5.
It is.
It's like $5 for a song. Yeah.
It is.
No,
But-
they've got to start making record deals and being like, it's $5 for a collection of this artist's songs.
Yes, but and that's what they've started doing, right? Because it's like it is to what we're saying. Like they feature new tracks every single day. You don't have to buy the songs, but man, I don't
and they
want to
cycle
wait
these songs out in for free. You can earn them through the
Exactly.
battle passes. There's a free
And-
track and a paid one.
Hear me out.
Yeah,
Fortnite gets talking with Spotify. You have Spotify Premium. You could get shit ton of songs to Fortnite Festival.
that'd be insane. I don't think they're
Or
going to go
Apple,
that model
maybe
because
even they
they're
could do a
Yeah,
Spotify
they would be
Apple
losing
Music. Like
money
as
at
long
that
as you're
point, like,
paying
yeah.
for a music
Yes.
streaming service.
they're making money hand over fist because let me tell you, I'm just giving it to them. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait till Feel Good Inc. is back in rotation. I want that shit.
I want to play it all the time. Yeah.
All the time. Same with Olivia Rodrigo. Same with Green Day. And they
Just to get any rhythm game and mod it for PC.
to their benefit, like you said, they do bundle it. Like I did get the Green Day
Yeah.
bundle, all 3 songs from the Dookie album for I think I saved maybe 400 V-Bucks, but I still did it, dude. I still
Right.
did it, man. They are just making money. But again, it's a free game. It's addicting as hell. You don't have to. You can wait for the songs. You can play whatever new feature shit is in. But damn, 500 V-Bucks.
But yeah, I know.
Of money.
Just for me, it's like I hadn't put any money into the festival, and then they were like, hey, Carry On Wayward Son is in there now, and I went,
Right.
fuck, gotta buy it,
Well,
especially because
Yeah.
the art on that one is so good. I'm so addicted to playing that keyboard
Oh,
solo in it. Oh my god,
oh my god, dude, it's insane.
it's so good.
well, no. At the end of the day, the reason all these grimy DLC things are happening is because people are buying them. Like, are these
Because it
companies
works.
are these companies like, trying to make a profit and being capitalistic assholes? Absolutely. But because of that, have they not hired the best fucking statisticians and business majors to punch the numbers for them and go, this is the exact number that will get the perfect amount of people to buy? 100
yeah.
fucking percent. So like it's, as somebody who like does not spend on DLC that is the type of stuff we're talking about. I have spent on significant expansions, and
Mhm.
I even then, like, I don't buy that much DLC, more or less. Like, I'm not trying to sound like an ass when I say, but it's like, okay, if you don't like it, you have to get other people to stop buying it. And like, the problem is,
Yeah.
it's the people
Yeah.
complaining are probably not the ones buying for that reason, right? Like,
100%.
you're absolutely going to have somebody who is just so removed from the discourse, sees that this is an option. From all the people that are removed from the discourse, half of them are going to see the option and go, not paying that. Half of them are going to pay that. And
Right.
the companies are going to keep making it. Like, I don't remember the exact.
I mean, that's basically the discussion around like the EA sports games, right? Your FIFA Ultimate Team, your Madden Ultimate Team, that sort of thing, where it's like they make an unbelievable amount of money on that. But the target audience for that are basically all of the people that are so far removed from this discourse, they
Oh, yeah.
probably don't even know that that's a controversial thing.
100%. They just getting their FIFA bucks up and playing some
Yeah.
FIFA on a Tuesday, bruv. Like, it's
On a
no biggie.
Tuesday, gonna go play, you want to come over and play some footy?
Some footy on the FIFA, mate.
I'm sorry, the EAFC now.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, they
it
lost
is.
the FIFA license.
Lame.
Ifka.
Ifka.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the other big thing too that we haven't touched on, battle passes are now
Sure.
kind of like the new big thing, and I think those get a little difficult. I think it stays the same thing too. You spend it on what you want. Like, I'm not privy to get every single Fortnite battle pass, but man,
Yeah.
you put Solid Snake and Peter Griffin in a single one, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna drop $9.
Yeah, there's
Plus
some money for that.
$10 every like 2-3 months. That's no biggie. I'm like, take that.
Especially for games like Fortnite, to where you can buy one, and then like if you're not buying a whole lot else, you can earn enough money
Yeah.
to get the next one without having to put another $10 down.
But like a battle pass in a game like Call of Duty, that's where I'm like, ooh, I already spent $60 on this, and now you're gonna give me a battle, like additional battle.
Well, especially when a lot of battle passes are time gated and those sorts of things.
Oh, yeah.
and it makes me very happy to have games like Helldivers and Halo Infinite, to where it's like they exist forever.
Right.
I was gonna say, I almost feel like just like a store. I prefer, like, as somebody who doesn't play a lot of games that involve battle passes, like I feel like a storefront is less aggressive, because with the battle pass there is the rush to finish it, or
if you got to spend,
at the very end, you have
to
you time, and also whatever fake currency, like, you have to make sure that you keep paying your way through. It's not just like level based necessarily,
right?
And so like battle passes are like their own thing, where it's like, oh, these aren't necessarily even, not that battle passes don't make money, but the battle pass is not designed simply as a way just to bring in revenue. If it was, it would just be a storefront. The battle passes are also a way to design to keep you spending more time in the game, which of course is then going to make you spend more money. Like, I'm not saying they're not, again, money driven, but it's very much a FOMO type of marketing.
Yeah,
100%,
big time. There's been a debate going around that in the Destiny circle for years now. All of these there's a term for it too. Yeah, I mean, your FOMO, whatever, right? Where it's like, damn, like I either can play other games or I can play Destiny if I want to get the stuff that I want in it. It's part of the reason that me and some of my other friends like don't really play a lot of Destiny anymore, because it's like I have 2 jobs and other games that I want to play. Like I can't spend the time in it.
It's kind of becoming like, it sounds like WoW, where it's like, oh, I'm not a gamer, I play WoW.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Almost, yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for this conversation. I really appreciate it, and I want to know you, the audience, what are your personal limits for DLC? What feels grimy? What are you willing to engage with? What will make you not even touch a game? Please let us know down in the comments below, or you can go shout at us over on Twitter. We're on Threads. We might have a Blue Sky. I don't remember. Just yeah,
Oops.
all of those. If we don't, then I guess don't.
Yeah.
And thank you guys so much for watching the Shared Skins Media Club. We will see you again very, very soon.
Bye.